The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and the guests, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated individuals, organizations, or sponsors. The content is provided for entertainment and informational purposes only, and should not be taken as professional advice. While we strive for accuracy, we make no representation or warranties about the completeness, reliability, or accuracy of the information discussed. Listeners are encouraged to verify facts and form their own opinions. The host and producers are not responsible for any errors, omissions, or outcomes related to the use of this content. By listening, you agree that the host and the production team will not be held liable for any actions you take or decisions you make based on the information presented. Thank you.
Again, shout out to Lady Indiana, man. Everybody checking in on the Facebook, folks checking in on the Instagram. I told y'all we was going to, get into some politics. We was going to, shake things up on this episode of the DozhaToldya Podcast. And I intend on doing just that. Let's go ahead and get into this Trump talk, man. So these are going to just be just a few politic clips that I've been putting aside throughout the week. Some of them have to do with what the antics of Donald J. Trump, and some of them have to do with what's going on in Texas with the with the representatives trying to gain more seats in Congress by what we call gerrymandering. We're going to talk about all that and more. So let's get into it. Trump talk. Let's get into some Trump talk. Let's start it off with Ice-T. Ice-T had a little bit to say about how he feels about how the country's being ran. And let's talk to the gangster.
What can I say about dude that hasn't been said? I think we all know, people know that shit's foul and we have to address it some kind of way, I'm just talking about the whole situation. We already know I don't give a fuck about that clown-ass motherfucker. I think what's more scary than him is his followers. I think the people that follow him blindly have a way of brushing off all that he does. And the things he does, if any normal person did one of those things, they'd be out of here. What can I say about dude that hasn't been said?
And that's what kind of grinds my gears a lot, man, about black conservatives and the whole Republican Party is exactly what he said at the end of this clip.
I think we have a way of brushing off all that he does. And
their ability I think that these are things that make people follow the Republican Party, and these are also things that I find disgusting about the Republican Party. Their unwavering loyalty towards their agenda it's just intriguing. It's provocative, the fact that how they will just turn a blind eye to the bullshit that comes from one of their colleagues, long as everybody stays focused, locked-eyed, loyal to the agenda. And it be some bullshit that they turn a blind eye to. So when they try to fool folks into talking about like the liberals are the ones that are running these sex trafficking rings and all that bullshit that they bring up, you just know that most of the people that be involved in those type of things come from the grand old party. Now, a lot of folks have been mad. Speaking of Ice-T, some folks have been mad with Ice Cube because he's recently have had critical things to say about Donald Trump. But it was once upon a time he was kind of praising Donald Trump. And Ice Cube, I still respect the legend, from a rap and a movie perspective. But politics, he kind of just be getting things twisted a little bit. And he means well. I think that the media and the internet twist his words up and his intention. But hey, sometimes you gotta goddamn put your own foot in your mouth or, something like that.
It hurts because, it's all kind of different situations been going around, as far as immigration. But to see people like disrespected like that and, the federal government just, you know, being too heavy-handed and disrespectful, going to churches and weddings and, you know, grabbing people out of those schools. And, you know, it's like, come on, man. You know, y'all just...
Because there's a way to do it, right?
Overdoing it, you know, and then the country flip-flops. First it's cool, then it's not, then it's cool, then it's not. You know, it's like, how could somebody even keep up with what's going on? So it's just, it's sad, man. I can't wait till this period is over. You know, it's like, I don't know how we're going to get to the end, but this is just, it's crazy to see people dragged out of the spots of refuge, you know?
Now, once it's over, there's going to be a lot to clean up for the next guy.
Well, yeah, and then, like, everything is empty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because when you do that to, you do that to so-called people who are you know, what they call illegal. And now you get the people who legal don't want to come out because they don't want to deal with your ass either. Right. So, you know, everybody's staying home. You know, so
I'm legal. I don't want to come out.
Yeah, thank you, because you don't want nobody to come hassle you or even want to look at your license and your shit. You know, it's like,
right? Because now they're just grabbing because of the skin color.
Exactly. So nobody's safe, man. You know, and they don't care who they grab. Really, they don't care who they grab.
They don't.
It's sad.
Elderly, kids, women, children, doesn't matter.
Everybody. You know, it's like they come in and disrespect everybody and want to traumatize people.
100%.
You know, that's part of it too. They want to traumatize the ones that's looking, not just the ones that's being. They just. It's a whole tactic that's been using forever, and it's played out.
So a lot of folks had a little bit of issue for Ice Cube to be taking this stance when he's also been on record to be in support of Donald Trump during the election. And sometimes for some folks, they just felt like they were in non-support of Kamala Harris, basically, I guess, blind support of Kamala Harris, because
it's in yours.
You know, you got, you know, if I'm looking at it, agreeing to direct VC money to black investment companies up to $40 billion.
It's in yours.
Okay, that was a bullshit clip. He clearly said nothing during that clip. That wasn't the one we.
Is what Americans love. Donald Trump is what Americans aspire to be. Rich, powerful, do what you want to do, say what you want to say, be how you want to be. That's kind of been like the American dream. He looks like a boss to everybody, and Americans love to have a boss. So, you know, that's his appeal to me.
Hey, we do not reserve rights to any of the music that was played in the background. That was just clearly the car that was driving by. I don't know where that stuff came from, and I don't know where the Ice Cube came from with that message for that matter. Again, that's kind of the issues where folks have with those of us that have been known to flip-flop a little bit. You know?
Guys, black unemployment is the highest it's been since the pandemic. Let's talk about it. The Department of Labor just released that black unemployment spiked to 7.2% in July. That's the highest it's been since October of 2021, where the unemployment rate was 7.6%. But here's where it got messy. Over his campaign, Donald Trump told voters that people coming over the border were taking black jobs. But despite the increase in deportation efforts, unemployment for Black Americans has only gone up. And Donald Trump, ahead of the release, went on Truth Social to fire Erica McIntyre, head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who he accuses of faking the numbers in order to help Kamala Harris. But it is worth noting that these numbers can bounce around a lot from month to month. For instance, Black unemployment rate was only at 6% in May before it rose sharply to 6.8% in June. It also hit a record low of 4.8% in April of 2023 when the job market and the economy were very strong. But Black people aren't just job numbers in a statistic. We're people trying to provide for ourselves and our families. So the question is, what can the government do to decrease these numbers? Okay, bye.
Oh man, we appreciate that good message. Again, we got just a lot of information, a lot of political information to share with you guys, and I just hope that everybody, stay focused, keep your eyes open, because these motherfuckers is trying to pull some bullshit, pull the wool over our eyes, and a lot of folks is really just going for it
to take the Republican Party back. I think
a lot of folks is really just down letting it happen.
And I think despite the prognostications of significant doom immediately after the tariffs were first announced, a lot of companies, to your point, haven't passed them through necessarily. They have eaten some of them. They've been very nervous about getting kind of under the eye of Sauron of President Trump, and becoming an enemy of the administration. But they were very clear in the most recent quarter calls that are still playing out today that there are problems coming and price increases that will likely come with them. Now, you talk about apparel, clothing, shoes in particular. Nike saying that they're probably going to take a hit of about $1 billion that they're going to need to offset with higher prices.
Adidas, so they're all saying they're going to raise prices. It's not that they're going to eat it; they're going to pass it on,
at least in some form.
Yeah.
Adidas, a $230 million hit, will have to raise prices specifically in the U.S. market, is what they're saying. Walmart has warned of looming price increases. General Mills has been a little cagier about it, saying they need to change their price strategy to be competitive, but taking hits on the tariff front. Coors, $20 to $35 million in increased costs over the course of the rest of this year because of the aluminum tariffs. We're seeing it on consumer-facing goods. Exactly. You're seeing it on consumer-facing goods. And at some point, what we're hearing on these calls is either the margins are going to get a lot thinner to the extent they possibly can, or those costs are going to be passed on.
What about the American auto industry? Because, again, one of the reasons that President Trump is doing this, is to bring manufacturing back to the United States. So you would think theoretically this will help automakers, but what are they saying?
Again, the difficulty here is that the auto industry, even the U.S.-based automakers, are not entirely based in the U.S. Now, there are some important exemptions in the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement involved in some of the tariffs in the North America front. But if you take a look at Ford, they're saying they're going to take at least a $3 billion hit. They believe they can take on about $1 billion, but at some point that's going to be passed on in the $2 billion they can't. Toyota, which obviously is not based entirely in the U.S., but builds a lot of cars in the United States, has plants here, they announced today a nearly $10 billion hit based on the tariffs as they currently stand. So there are significant impacts that are coming, more so for the foreign-based automakers. White House says, hey, bring your plants here, manufacture everything here. You'll be able to get outside of it. But as it currently stands, supply chains aren't the just snap of the finger type of move, especially for an industry like the automotive industry, and they're going to feel pain.
So, and this is, they're not saying, oh, we're going to raise prices next month. They're just saying, we have to deal, for instance, the $3 billion hit that you just talked about for Ford. We have to deal with this, and we're just going to have to figure it out.
And I think that's been the moment where, okay, we've got time to figure this out. Maybe the tariff levels will change. Maybe they'll pull back. Maybe this is just a threat.
Yeah.
Maybe the exporters will eat some of the costs as we make deals because of the strength of the U.S. market and fear of actually losing market share. Those moments of speculating, hoping, trying to plan around, I've now moved to reality. And so I think.
So again, tariffs haven't really taken a negative effect completely because there have been pushbacks on tariffs. We ran delays. He keep running bluff plays. He bluffing like he gonna put a tariff on everybody and then he pull back. But the market hasn't been able to bluff like Trump has been able to, and it's been taking serious hits, or at least it's been knocking it down from being able to progress, without any stipulation. So the first 200 days, of the Trump administration has passed within the last week or so. And how does it look? How does it feel for you? How y'all doing out there? You know, y'all good these first 200 days? I feel like they've gotten a lot of what they wanted done with the big, beautiful bill. I feel like there's a lot of pump faking, a lot of propaganda that's been done, and there's a lot of damage, you know, with that propaganda even without doing much. By doing very little, there's still damage that this administration has been doing to the country. Namely, grocery prices going up. The Russia versus Ukraine war still raging. Credit card interest rates not capped at 10% like promised. Prescription drug prices remain high. IVF is not free. Taxes still on Social Security, which I think that they said that they addressed that, I guess, in a proclamation or executive order a couple of days ago. So don't hold us on that. Overtime, not 100% tax-free, and the Epstein files not released. And the Epstein files have really been a thing that many Americans seem to be very, very hung up on. They want to know. But are we really going to act if we find out, you know, that people that we held dear, some people that we held on pedestals and leaders of our country end up being in cahoots or involved in Jeffrey Epstein activities on the island or whatever? Are we really going to do anything about it? Or folks just going to, you know, brush it off like they do the many things that they see already in politics?
Signing executive orders is not the way our country was supposed to be run. Nobody ever heard of an executive order. Then all of a sudden Obama, because he couldn't get anybody to agree with him, he starts signing them like they're butter. You have a president that signs executive orders because he can't get anything done. He signs on immigration and on other things. I want to not use too many executive orders, folks. The executive orders are an outrage. We have a president that can't lead. He said, the hell with it, I'm not going to do this anymore. I want to rest and I want to do other things, including going out and play golf. This guy played hundreds of rounds of golf.
Oh, man, pot talking about kettle. Monkey see, monkey do, or maybe that's a bad metaphor. But it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Is the main talking points of the GOP. Politics. I thought I had more. I thought I had more politics written down. Let me see here. What's going on here? All right, so let's first talk about politics. So the GOP have been trying to pull tricks out in Texas. What some may call gerrymandering, not Jerry Seinfeld, not Ben and Jerry's, gerrymandering. Let's talk about it.
What is the felony? What are the penalties for this?
So very simply, it would be bribery if any lawmaker took money to perform or to refuse to perform an act in the legislature. And the reports are these legislators have been both, they sought money and they offered money to skip the vote, to leave the legislature, to take a legislative act. That would be bribery. And so the facts will have to come out. But I think based upon comments made by legislators themselves, they face a possibility of facing bribery charges, which is a second-degree felony in the state of Texas. There's one way to cure that, and that is if they get back to the state of Texas and make quorum today at a hearing that we have at 3 o'clock, they can cure themselves of any quid pro quo that would subject them to potential bribery charges.
And them folks said, the hell with you, Abbott, and all your partners. Now, I'm gonna try to find a better breakdown of what's been going on with this redistricting and all this politics that been going on in Texas. Let me see if I can find somebody that got now breaking this shit down for us.
State lawmakers are back in session today in Texas, and that includes Democrats who've now returned after leaving to block partisan redistricting. The House Speaker gavelled the chamber in for business for the first time in 2 weeks.
We are done waiting. We have a quorum. Now is the time for action. We will move quickly, and the schedule will be demanding until our work is complete.
Texas Democrats returned because California Democrats are planning their own partisan map to counteract any GOP gains.
I'm not happy to be here. We didn't choose this fight. We don't want this fight. But with our democracy on the line, we cannot run away from this fight.
Congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins has more.
Lisa Desjardins. That's a hell of a name.
Jeff, this battle of the maps could decide the next battle for Congress. To dig into what's happening, we're joined by Dr. Sam Wong, director of the Electoral Innovation Lab, who's pioneered ways to analyze gerrymandering. Sam, let's start with California. If you look at the maps, the one on the left is the current congressional map, and then on the right, you see what Democrats are now proposing. Help us understand what Democrats are doing in California, and how many seats do you think they could gain?
Well, Democrats are working with a map that is drawn by an independent commission, and that commission went to efforts to represent different parts of the state. So as a result, there are Republican-leaning parts of the state that are represented, Democratic-leaning parts of the state also represented. Democrats have now sketched out a draft map that will pick them up around 5 or 6 seats. And the way they've done it is by arranging parts of the state to be more favorable to them. And so the independent commission tried to respect communities. And now what the Democrats are trying to do is draw a map for the next few elections, a temporary map that will basically take Republicans and pack them into a smaller number of districts or split them. And through this artful arrangement, gain an advantage of a 5-seat gain compared with the neutral map that's in place now.
Texas.
So, long story short, the Democrats are finally playing fire with fire. They finally decided to grow some balls and throw down. And I think that a lot of folks are going to be happy with this. Gavin Newsom has playing dirty, mudslinging a little bit.
But you know what else? I don't give a fuck.
I know that was random. I know. I'm full of randomness here. You know, that's just me. But yeah, Governor Gavin Newsom of California has been playing by a different set of rules. And he's been pushing back to the bullshit that Donald Trump and what we've been used to from what we've been used to dealing with Trump on the internet. You know, all this tweeting and saying all the crazy stuff that he's been saying on the internet. Gavin Newsom been like, all right, 2 can play that game. And, the Democrats are starting to fight fire with fire. And, I'm here for it. Let me see if I can find somebody that's talking about some of this crazy stuff that Gavin.
Whoever is the social media person in charge of this strategy, give them a raise. These tweets could be framed and put into museums someday. Many people are saying, and I agree, that I, Gavin C. Newsom, America's favorite governor, deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. Why? Because of, in quotes, most incredible maps in the history of mapping, even Columbus. Nobody else could have done this, certainly not the self-proclaimed master deal maker Donald Taco Trump, tiny hands, who missed the deadline and lost. Sad. Peace through maps. No one has ever thought of this before. I am the peacetime governor now, stopping political wars before they start. Harmony, unity, even love. The Nobel Committee has given this award to lesser people for much less. I, Gavin C. Newsom, actually earned it. The world will be safer, kinder, and frankly more beautiful because of my maps. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GCN. And look, there's about 10 or so that are going like this. Now, obviously, they're playing into the absurdity, which is we've normalized our president with absolutely unhinged, deranged tweets. And yet, this is the world we live in. People expect more from our political leaders, but hey, it's a dogfight out there. And I think what we're learning is people would rather see Governor Newsom and others roll their sleeves up and fight fire with fire than take the high road. The high road works until it doesn't, right? Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. The current phrase is, when they go low, kick them in the jaw.
Oh, man. Shout out to D. Niels, man. Great clip. And great point, man. Like I said, man, Democrats finally decide to grab some nuts and throw down.
Bullshit. You're right. I am crazy. No. Crew. Always will be. I just came to see what's up. Let me tell you something, B. I'm only playing your fucking game because ain't shit else to do. But don't you ever pull a gun on me again in your life. Well, I hope I won't have to. Yeah, we all go down if you do, because we all crew. Just try me if you think I'm bullshit.
Then they skipped my favorite part. I was waiting. He finally decided to throw some balls and throw down. Partner.
And now, crazy, man.
You know what? I am crazy.
Just came to see if you was alright. Your fucking game, because ain't shit else to do. But don't you ever pull a gun on me again in your life. Well, I hope I won't have to. Yeah, we all go down if you do, because we all crew. Just try me if you think I'm bullshit. Look at this. The brother finally decides to stand up like a man and throw down. Too bad Raheem had to die first, huh?
All right, man. Shout out to Oh My Else, man, and rest in peace, Tupac, man. Like I said, man, we was just gonna talk about, you know, the things that was going down in politics this week, man. The shit that Donald Trump trying to pull, you know.
For folks who may not be,
Gavin Newsom out here playing dirty with the rest of the Republicans, and then you know we had we gotta talk about a little bit of sports before we get out of here. So let's go watch a couple of more clips, and then we're gonna talk about some sports before we get up out of here.
Feeling this, but how are we doing this? I am in my 30s. I have my master's in business administration. My husband is an engineer. We should be making great money and be golden when it comes to money, right? That's what I was raised thinking. And instead, just like everybody else, we are living paycheck to paycheck. Like, it is so hard. We have a house. We were lucky enough to get a house. I know a lot of people can't do that and haven't had that opportunity. But our house mortgage has gone up $400 or $500 since when we first bought it. Property taxes, they just keep going up and up. So with that, our mortgage just keeps climbing too. We have 2 kids. With kids comes diaper prices, comes formula, comes everything else that comes with it, including daycare. Daycare. We were able to find a daycare that's actually pretty inexpensive compared to a lot of other daycares. And even with that, it is still costing more than our mortgage does every month. I'm just so tired. And I know everybody is in the same boat too. Prices are going up for literally everything. Everything. But when it comes to pay, our paychecks will go up, a couple %, but nothing compared to inflation on everything. I just don't understand how we keep doing it. And where's the breaking point? Where does that come in? When do things turn around? Because there's no end in sight. Everything that the government has put forth lately is only going to make things more expensive for us in the long run. And again, I say this knowing that we are still very privileged. We still have a lot of things that other people do not, but it's still just such a struggle. You know, we're given this promise basically when we're younger that if you get the degree and you do this and do that right, then like you'll be set, you'll be golden when it comes to money and not have to worry about it. And then to grow up and face the fact that all of that's bullshit. Like they fed it into being such a lie and such a trap basically that everybody is just buried in different student loans. Everybody is buried in different kinds of debt that we'll never get out of, that they promised us would create a safe and happy, thriving future. None of it's there. So thanks, boomers and beyond. You set us up great.
You're listening to DozhaToldya Radio.
A lot of the young guys and women out here are just not happy with the options that they were left with.
So I know.
And the people that we have put in power. And I think that just overall, you know, if we make it through these crazy political years, that the damage that racist, y'all better get y'all racist policies in now, because I'm seeing a lot of white folks that are not happy. You know, it's already one thing with how we feel as a culture, you know what I'm saying, you know, from the black community, but a lot of our allies, a lot of our white allies out here, you know, country, city, liberal, conservative, a lot of them are just had it up to here. And one thing I can really go for a white person that can kind of admit to the bullshit, again, folks that don't turn a blind eye to the bullshit that they see folks going through, from immigration to taxes on tariffs and things, you know, inflation and whatnot. For those that, you know, that's real enough to be like, bruh, this is some bullshit and I'm tired of it, I fuss with that. And so a lot of our allies, you know, they've had enough.
I live in rural Arkansas. And if you don't understand why people in rural Arkansas or rural America vote Republican, it's because of fear and jealousy. Jealousy that somebody has it better than they do, that they work their asses off, and most of them do. More education, because the education here is at the bottom of the tier. Maternal mortality, low. Education, low. Quality of living, low. Infrastructure, super low. There's no industry, there's no hope for these young kids in rural Arkansas to have a job. We had a chance to vote Chris Jones, an actual rocket scientist like myself who was educated and had a plan to bring jobs and infrastructure to Arkansas. But the people I talked to who in rural Arkansas will not vote for him because of his color of his skin. and they weren't nice when they described the color of his skin. So they voted for a sycophant, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is treating this like her personal money bank. There is no infrastructure here. The roads are shit. You can drive 2 hours. So my closest grocery store, besides Walmart, is 2 hours away. So if I go that 2 hours to go to that grocery store, the roads I have to take are barely have enough room for two people to pass each other. There is no cell phone coverage for over an hour and a half of that ride. And there's no hope to get those roads fixed anytime soon because there's no money. I say that, but lo and behold, what did Sarah do as of July of 2025? She has loaned and bought $55 million worth of Israeli bonds. So she's loaned Israel $55 million with a catch to give them 100 more million by the end of the year. When her people are fucking starving, they have no medical care. Hell, most teenage girls here are living at home pregnant with their moms. And they're living at home with their moms and their boyfriends. Because that's how rural America lives. There's nothing for these kids to look forward to. So why would they ever vote Republican? Because that's what they're told to do. $150 million would go a long way to feed, get medical attention, and up so that our children here in Arkansas don't die in infancy and the mothers don't die in childbirth. And that is rural America. Fuck Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She is the worst governor at, okay, she's second. Our neighbor, Texas Abbott, is worse, but she's a close second.
PNW Twin Gal 1. I appreciate that clip, and I want to say some prayers to you and your family, and just right on for being truthful, man, and just right, even if you kind of have to go against your own people. And there's a lot of white folks that's kind of just been coming forward. We're just having enough of just dealing with the ignorance, man. And like I told y'all, man, ignorance will do whatever they can. Ignorance will do whatever it can to ward off intellectualism. Ignorance see the intellectual come through and they like, oh, we want to stay ignorant over here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to smarten up, nigga. Fuck you trying to do? Smarten up, nigga? They do that. All right, man. It's been a great show, man. Again, this has just been the DozhaToldya Podcast, 157 politics and a couple of sports, man. Y'all know we used to do politics and allegations back in the days, and now we just, did a whole separate show and just dedicated it straight to the politics of the week. But now in sports news, that boy Shedeur Sanders broke records, man. Shedeur Sanders broke records on the NFL Network. He had 2.2 million viewers on his NFL debut August 8th versus the Carolina Panthers. Let's give a round of applause to Shedeur. Now, Shedeur Sanders had a pretty good game. Had a really, really good game, actually. But how do we feel after one game? What was his stats the first game? Let me see if hold on, I'll look it up real quick. One game in, he didn't play the second game because he had an injury to his obliques. I don't even know what the obliques is, but let's compare Sanders to Dillon Gabriel. You know what I'm saying? Dillon Gabriel is the quarterback that's playing in front of Shedeur, and right now, a lot of folks feel like Shedeur has the better stats. Okay, here we go. So in the first game, the two rookies in the preseason, Shedeur had 14 for 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Dillon Gabriel, not so well. He did complete more passes, had a better completion percentage. He didn't complete more passes, but he had a better percentage with 13 for 18 at 143 yards, slightly few more yards, but those 0 passing touchdowns shows a lot. That interception kind of wasn't his fault. The wide receiver ran a bad route. I was able to see that interception and see that the wide receiver did run a bad route. So it wasn't completely the fault of Dillon Gabriel on the interception that he did throw. But folks just starting to wonder what the Cleveland Browns are going to do with Shedeur Sanders. And if y'all want to see, because he did have a pick, he did throw a pick 6, Dillon Gabriel. You know what I'm saying? Some folks felt like he threw it right to him.
So far.
Threw it right to him.
And going back the other way.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really truly his fault. Again, it was a pick 6, but if y'all really can't see, but if you look closely, it's like a whole bunch of people over there. You know, 2 wide receivers ran the same route, and they basically set the man up for failure. But again, folks feel like they playing with Shedeur, or maybe they trying to make Shedeur look good for trade bait. Let's see what Dan Orlovsky has to say about the Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders quarterback preseason battle.
But I thought Gabriel's tape was better. And I think if you ask me, like, the reason why would be just through some like elite ball placement throws versus really, really tight coverage. There wasn't a ton given to him. And so, like, the efficiency with how he moved, the decision making, some of the ball placement, and how tight some of the hip-to-hip coverage was. I just was very impressed. The under-center play-action passing stuff was big time. Some of the stuff that he didn't do in college, he did at the NFL, the manipulation of the defenses. And so I'd push back on the interception thing. I know the interception got a lot of play over the weekend. At the end of the day, the quarterback is the person who has the ball with the final decision. No question. This interception happens a lot because of the lack of spacing. I think the poor decision by the flat route runner kind of messes with the quarterback. So I really don't put that. He pulls his arms back right as the ball is passing him. So this is a lack of communication, but I don't put this on the quarterback as like, oh my gosh, I don't. The fumble I'm going to give to you. The fumble I do believe is Dillon Gabriel's. That's a very easy thing to fix with his footwork. But that.
All right. You know, some folks are going to feel the way they're going to feel. And when I say Dillon Gabriel might be in the lead for you know, in the quarterback battle. But, you know, right now they got Shedeur actually 4th on the depth chart. So, you know, they've named Joe Flacco the starter, Kenny Pickett 2nd string, Dillon Gabriel 3rd string, and Shedeur Sanders 4th string quarterback. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel that will change at the start of the season? We only got a couple of more weeks of preseason left. I think that we may be able to see Shedeur play one more preseason game if he's healthy. And maybe they could be building him up to get some trade equity out of him. But Nevertheless, he definitely looks better than what folks were saying that he was. Speaking of look better, how are we feeling about Serena Williams and her weight loss change? Is Serena Williams got rid of the booty? Like, Serena Williams got tired of all the negativity, folks saying that she was too masculine and muscular, and you know, the body was just too much body-oddy, I guess. And she decided to change up a little bit. Some folks may say that it's Ozempic. But to go from bootylicious to bootyless, bootylicious, bootyless. Anyway, you know, to go from one stream to the other warrants, you know, an inquiry or two. You know what I'm saying? You know, just a couple of questions. How'd you do it? What's your secret? I still think you look great. I think that without the booty, your head look a little bigger. But I love you, Serena. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't do no wrong in my book. But I like BBWs, man. I would like to see a little bit more meat on her bones. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see her go from bootyless to bootylicious. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, and it looked like she might have been getting a little more light skin too out on the low. She might be doing a little bit of bleaching too going on. I don't know. It kind of look like it though, don't it? I know I ain't tripping. It kind of look like she could be getting a little lighter. She been doing her little Stacey Dash routine, and again, Serena, baby, we love you just the way you are. We don't need you out here looking like Tiffany Haddish or Stacey Dash. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, sir. You know? So, cuffing season for the fall. Go back to the country. Get back to Compton. Come on to Mississippi. Come on down to Louisiana. Wherever you got to go. You get you some collard greens, some yams, and put some yams on them yams. Please. And that's all I got to say about that. Thoughts and prayers, man. These are just jokes, man. Bad jokes at that. Bad jokes, man. Y'all know I love Serena, but god damn, man. Where'd the booty go? Where it went at, TC? Shit, what happened? What happened? I don't know. So yeah, man, we gonna call it quits around this time right now, man. And get with y'all a little later in the week, you dig? We ain't gotta talk about Odell Beckham Jr. retiring, because we don't know if he really retired or not. You know what I'm saying? We don't know for real. He could have retired. He could have not retired. Follow up on the story with William McNeil. Yeah, y'all know the dude we was talking about that didn't want to roll down his window and got that bitch smashed in. Yeah, follow up that prosecutors have found the police involved in the video seen around the world a couple of weeks ago, featuring officers of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office busting the window of William McNeil and him keeping it all on tape, and also being assaulted in the face and later assaulted in the body and in the face outside of the vehicle. Prosecutors have found no need to press any charges against their own people. You know, police ain't gonna police. You know what I'm saying? That's an oxymoron. Police, and police. Bet you can't say that 3 times fast. Policing. Anyway, like I told y'all, man. You know, I went on a limb and I said that he should have complied, and I'm going to stand on that because, man, you know, I'm just happy that he survived, William McNeil. And don't do that shit again, man. If you open your door, leave that door open. If you don't want to open your door, then talk to the police outside of the window. Hold your information up to the window. Now, I did see a white man a couple of days ago do some of the similar things that William McNeil did. But again, we got to remember, as Black Americans or Black people in America, we can't go around doing what our white counterparts may do, especially when it comes to law enforcement officers.
He's seen on video captured on his cell phone during this traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida. And now William McNeil Jr. is speaking out for the first time about the incident from February that's now gone viral.
And I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared.
In the video, the 22-year-old asks why he was stopped. Officers saying because his headlights were off.
There's no rain. It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Police say McNeil refused to exit the vehicle.
Can you call your supervisor?
You see the sheriff's deputy break the window and punch McNeil. He's pulled out of the car and dragged to the ground as he's placed under arrest. McNeil says the incident left him with a chipped tooth and wounds requiring 9 stitches.
Just see that video made me go back to the moment when I was 22. It hurted.
Yeah, I bet it did.
It was a classic case of driving while black.
But police say that video tells only part of the story. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office releasing multiple angles of police body camera footage.
Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor.
Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window.
No, bro, I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters says multiple levels of supervision have reviewed the video and have determined the officer's actions were not criminal.
Social media is not reality. One video clip, devoid of context, can be very misleading.
Police say they found a knife and marijuana inside the car. McNeil is facing multiple charges, including resisting arrest without violence, as well as driving with a suspended license. The officer who punched McNeil has been stripped of his badge, with an internal investigation now underway to determine if department policy was violated. McNeil's attorneys are calling for him to be fired. Stephanie?
Definitely. They definitely need to fire the dude. No. They definitely need to fire that guy. But I hate to say that I told y'all, Doja told you that this dude probably didn't have no real case. You know, it's unfortunate that he was assaulted, you know, tooth chipped and all that good stuff. I hate this that had to happen to you, sir. But again, we have to think about prevention, know our policies, and avoid violence when dealing with the police during traffic stops. It's a miracle, not even a miracle. It's just great that William McNeil can live to tell the story, and maybe he should be compensated for the damages to his mouth. But thinking that the police was going to police the police, come on now. That was the police policing the police. TC, that was like when I said, yeah, you got it. You know what I'm saying? She needs some yams on top of them yams. Yeah. Folks thinking that the police going police on top of the police. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to be smarter than that. Knowing them folks don't give a damn. Them folks don't give a damn about what we got, you know, what we want. Anyway, what y'all gonna do, Jacksonville? You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna, go out there and march? Y'all gonna vote a different sheriff in? You know? Again, folks would like to think that voting doesn't matter. But if voting didn't matter, then why do them folks do so much to stop us from voting?
Pro-black imposters tell black folks that voting is a waste of time
that voting hasn't gotten us anything in 80 years? Well, I got a few questions for them. If voting isn't important, why did Trump tell Texas to redraw their voting map? And why did the Democrats leave the state to prevent it? And why did white supremacists murder these 3 young men on the screen 61 years ago today? And why did white supremacists make black people pay a tax just to vote if voting isn't important? And why did they assassinate Dr. King, beat John Lewis, assassinate Medgar Evers if voting isn't important? Why did they so violently try to deny us the right to vote if voting isn't important? Why did Trump thank black people twice, 2016, 2024, for not voting for Kamala or Hillary? Why did it take an amendment to the Constitution, the 15th Amendment, just to give us the right to vote? And if voting wasn't critical, why do they fight so hard to keep us from doing it? And why do a large majority of white voters always vote year after year, cycle after cycle? And why did Congress pass the Voting Rights Act 60 years ago if voting isn't vital to black progress? If voting doesn't matter, then why do they implement so many voter suppression laws? Why are we still standing in long lines? Why are we fighting for access to the polls if voting doesn't matter? Why are they trying to totally gut the Voting Rights Act if voting isn't crucial? Why is Clarence Thomas trying to kill Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act if voting is not important? This makes no sense, so I'll answer my own questions. Voting is critical. It always has been. It always will be. It's how we fight back. So don't let anyone steal your agency and your power. And remember, stay woke.
Stay woke. Get out there and vote. Make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Because all that other stuff, man, just sitting back complaining or praying, kumbaya, and expecting the difference without action, just ain't going to get it done. So I would like to say, this has been the DozhaToldya Podcast 157. You did. Special thanks and shouts out to McLovin. Shout out to DJ TC. Shout out to my boy E Mitch checking in on the Facebook. Who else checked in? Tony Red, Bruce Jones. Happy birthday, Phoenix. Matter of fact, let me do these birthdays real quick. I'm trying to get all these birthdays out the way real quick. Who else checked in, man? Happy birthday to all the Leos out there. Rico the Champ. Tony Meadows. Chris Rockamore, DJ Flu. Yeah, man, a couple of birthdays that I missed this week, man. Again, anybody that I missed, Doe Hunter. Shout out to you, Doe Hunter. But yeah, man, y'all, my boy Speedy birthday coming up in a couple of days. Okay. Miss Brown birthday on Friday. Shout out to Monet birthday, man. My boy Key birthday, right, Key? Okay. I know a lot of Leos. That boy Good Gas Johnny birthday next week. All right, then. And again, rest in peace and happy birthday to my father, man. May he rest in peace. TC birthday coming up next month, too. What we doing for it, TC? What we doing? Y'all make sure y'all follow TC on Twitch, man. If you're on the Twitch right now watching, go ahead and follow DJ TC. There go his name right there in the chat box. Make sure y'all follow him, man. Check him out on Fridays, man. Friday around 8:30 right here on the Twitch, man. He be going crazy with the Friday night house parties, man. Club TC or whatever you want to call it. His birthday is coming up next month. Virgo season is a-coming. So we going to be ready to celebrate, man. But once again, again, this is just the politic version. We've been wanting to make sure that we keep content coming throughout the week. So if you miss any part of the show or, you know, if you would just like to see a little bit more from us over at DozhaToldya, go to the YouTube and log into the YouTube, man. We got clips from other shows. We got interviews. We got some music reviews, all that good stuff right over on the channel. And, you know, all the podcasts are also there. You can also listen on the Mixlr app. You can hear the full show on the Mixlr app. You know, the music, the DozhaToldya Podcast playlist, and all that good stuff. And we even got some ride out music, some gospel ride outs, and some DJ TC ride outs from back in the days on there too still. So, you know, if you ever need, you know, the vibe, if you ever need to vibe and you don't have a DJ, you know, go to DozhaToldya Radio on the Mixlr app and boom, you got a DJ right there. TC say I'm going out of town. Okay, man. I hope you go to another country, man. Go to Mexico for your birthday, man. Couple of places that I'm gonna put on my bucket list for the next few years. Mexico. I would like to go to Mexico. I would like to visit Japan. We gonna find somewhere in Africa to visit, maybe Ghana. You know, and Paris. Clock it. So again, man, thank you. Great show, bro. I finally caught you live, Mr. Pop-Up. Yep, man, you know how we do, man. Pop up on them, man. Sometimes you got to pop up and show niggas, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, we decided not to let the party die, man. We're going to let the party live, man, and keep on pushing, man. I appreciate everybody's support. Make sure you tell a friend to listen in every Thursday around 6 to 8 sometime, man. Just follow us on all platforms if you ever want to get an update on when and where we will be popping up here on the DozhaToldya Podcast. But yeah, man, appreciate the support. Again, great show. We'll be back actually in a couple of days with episode 158. Yeah, we getting up there, man. We getting up there. So this has been the political version of the DozhaToldya Podcast 157. You did. Love y'all, man. We gonna get out of here with let's play some music. We get out of here, man. Let's play that Duval anthem by Tony Red now. The Villa Project. Duval. I know it's a lot of Duval roll call. I know it's a lot of music that I be not representing. I try to represent for everybody, but hey. You win some, you lose some, you dig?
Put a little sun on that.
All love and respect, man. Shout out to Tony Red, Marcus Matrix, T. Givens.
And we are La Villa Project.
You did.
Put a little sun on that.
And like I always say, you ain't never seen nobody do it like this ever.
La Villa Project.
And if you have, they ain't doing it better.
Fuck John Wayne and fuck Hulk Hogan. Yeah. You don't like blacks, then fuck you is the slogan. Give a damn about your job, I ain't your motherfucking token. Me and my people strong enough to bust this thing wide open. When I say stop spinning, nigga, stop. When I say stay on fucking grind, stop running from them cops. Tony Red gon' start some shit. If he draw, let it pop. Stop waiting to be judged, nigga. God is all you got. Fuck them food stamps, nigga. Grow your own crop. Let go. Fuck healthcare, nigga. Herbs can be your doc. The sentence of the living God. How dare you be stopped? Still in fucking for your subconscious. This is not for promo. If you're not gay, why you saying no homo? Hit you like a 6 shot, 6 hard to the tempo. Don't be scared of the 6. That beast they describe as you were down on Forsyth. It was a couple bases standing on the corner. One was lying, the other start trying. One for the raisin, now the niggas are gonna Duval. Talking Duval.
You're listening to DozhaToldya Radio.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dame Dozha. If you're looking to get your interview done or be a guest host on our podcast, hit us up at DozhaToldya.COM. Bump what you heard. Remember who told you? It's DozhaToldya.